Welcome everyone to the City Council meeting for Monday, April 28th. If we could have a roll call, Madam Clerk, to establish a quorum.
David Avanzino,
Here.
Steve Holofield,
Here.
Harry Meyer,
Here.
Rochelle Moyer is absent with notice, Susan Greening,
Here.
Terry McClung.
I'm here.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, get a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Have one item that we need to add for under new business is the quarterly financials. And that's all I have.
Do we need to delete unfinished business? Since, well, no. Are you going to cover that, or since Simon's out?
The what?
The unfinished business, sewer updates, and water remediation?
I've got a little short letter from Simon. I
Okay.
can read, so probably a combination of both.
Okay.
And nothing else? Yes, ma'am.
So I would like to table the sidewalks for the time being,
Okay.
but I would like to add temporary entertainment district.
All right. Anything else, anybody? That's it. Get a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, get a motion to approve the minutes for March 24th.
I move we approve the minutes for March 24th, 2025 City Council meeting as presented.
Second.
Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion to approve the minutes for April 14th.
I move we approve the minutes for the April 14th, 2025 City Council meeting as presented.
Second.
Motion approved. Second to approve the minutes for April 14th. Any additions, corrections?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We got a couple of vacancies in here. We actually have a gentleman here that we're going to be nominating, Sidney Price. I think he's here, so if you want to stand up and for the council to recognize Mr. Price anyway. We're glad you put your name in the ring here.
Can I speak for a minute?
Sure.
Mayor, council members, Cynthia Price, I go by Scott. I just wanted to introduce myself and put a face to the application. I'm actually a native-born Arkansas, born in Little Rock. Family moved up here in 1958. Actually went to school, elementary school here, and I graduated over in Berryville High. Go Bobcats. And I returned back to I consider this my hometown in the year 2020. And I just want to say I love this little town, and I want to see and do as much good I can for this town. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity if you do consider me for the City Planning Commission. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Ruth Mitchell on Parks has been a member on the Parks Commission for quite a while.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
She's been on the commission for quite a while, Ruth Mitchell.
Okay.
And so I would not go ahead and nominate her to go back on the Parks Commission, position number 7.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? That's for Aaron and
No, it's Ruth Mitchell.
just Ruth, okay. All in favor of renewing Ruth, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. We also have Aaron Bory, that's applying also, so.
She's a continuing member as well. I would go ahead and nominate Erin Bory for position number, is she a new position? No.
Parks,
Second.
No, hold on, I'm sorry.
Hang on.
She's a new commissioner?
No.
Or
Is she new or not?
No, he's an
Yeah, she's
existing.
Yeah,
There it is, okay.
Do what?
She's renewing also.
yeah, that's renewing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so we got a motion and a second. Motion by Mr. Holyfield and second by Mr. McClung. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. We do have some vacancies on both, or on the CAPC, the hospital, and the HDC. So if you're interested, please contact my office and get an application.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Sydney Scott Price for the position 6 on the Planning Commission.
I'm sorry, what's your motion?
To accept Sydney Scott Price on the Planning Commission, position 6.
Is this the first time we've seen this application?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, because I know I like to call and chat with him for a bit.
All right, motion dies for lack of a second. So we'll bring you up next council meeting, sir. So, all right, this brings us up to our public comments. Please leave your time for 3 minutes.
All right, Ferguson Stewart, 7 Harvey Road. You know, I think I brought up this thing before. It's hard to find good employees. And we've been really lucky. We've had some good ones. And I want to mention a couple of them. Our chief, Billy Floyd back there. Officer Grissom and Officer Walker recently were added to the police department. Well, they rescued 2 of our residents on March 25th. Great employees. Wow. And, you know, this is what I'm talking about. So also, we talked earlier about Simon. Well, Simon repaired a bench on his own out there at the corner by the New Orleans Hotel. I don't know if you know, by the public bathrooms. He replaced that, rebuilt it with his own skills. Just, I don't have those skills, but he did it on his own. So I love that. That's great. That's an employee going beyond, you know, the normal. And also, you know, Simon's done so many great things for us in the town. And I just want to say, we need to make sure that we say thank you to those employees all the time. Every time you see them, say thank you. And so I just want to mention that today. Also, Senate Bill 2 passed the prohibition to remove fluoride from the Senate, passed it on the 3rd vote on April 8th. So it passed on the 3rd vote. So this goes to the House. We still have some work to do. So there's still a requirement for fluoride in the water. And so I want those people that were in the 2020s that were out here jumping up and down about no fluoride in our water to get on the bandwagon and call our representative. And we need to do that. I'm sure you don't know who that is. That is, now my brain.
Harlan Bro.
Harlan Bro, right, Harlan Bro. So call Harlan Bro and tell him that you don't want fluoride in our water anymore. So if you're out there in TV land, please, let's get the fluoride out of our water in the state of Arkansas. All right? Now, the other thing that, going back to great employees, there was a ruckus about the flag at Plainer Hill. And I told people on Facebook, I don't own the flag, the city does. Well, a local jumped in, who's basically a pretty new owner of and that was the general store on Highway 62. And she paid for a brand new flag. And that's a large flag. It's about $160. And guess who put it up? I want you to guess. Simon Wiley put it up. So, you know, he didn't have to do that. So again, we've got to keep our employees that are good, okay? Now, they're not all great, but let's make sure we tell them that they're doing a good job, okay? Every day you get a chance, because there's a lot more opportunities outside these limits, so we want to keep them, okay? And that's all I've got. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Richard Webb. This is my wife, Samantha, both former employees of Eureka Springs Hospital. For months, former and current employees have been coming before you to inform you of the cruelty and abuse they have suffered at the hands of hospital CFO Cynthia Asbury and acting CEO and HR Director Jody Edmondson and others. These people aren't coming here and telling you what they have been through because of personal vendettas or dislike for these people. People have been mentally, personally, and financially hurt by the unlawful and cruel actions of these people. Yet, every time the council tries to get to the bottom of the issue and hold them accountable, Mr. Berry, who claims he has no power over any of it, finds a way to block the council from doing just that. Vetoes, canceled meetings, etc., to protect these people. At one of the most recent council meetings, Mr. Berry stated, "We have only heard one side of the story." Mr. Berry, as far as that goes, aren't these people that have been named in several statements and articles for causing this mess allowed to come here and defend their actions, just as my wife and I and dozens of other good people have came here for months to detail the pain and suffering they have endured because of the unlawful actions of these people since the latter part of 2023? You know who doesn't come forward to defend their actions, Mr. Berry? The guilty, that's who. Sandy Martin, Hospital Commission Chair, has stated, well, they can always come before us to express their concerns. But yet they changed the meeting times from 6 p.m. to 2 p.m. the day of the meeting, knowing it will make it almost impossible for people to attend and speak publicly because of work and obligations to family. Ms. Martin and the commission have demonstrated that they will change meeting times or do whatever it takes to silence us all. These are the actions of cowards. In one of the secret messages between former commission member Barbara Dix and CFO Cynthia Asbury, Ms. Dix stated to Ms. Asbury, "We just have to weather the storm of Eureka politics." Well, to her, Ms. Asbury, and everyone else involved, you're going to have to weather a little more than that, because as we have stated many times, we're not going away until we have accountability for the guilty.
Samantha Webb, former medical records clerk. It's taken our experiences over the last 2 years or so with the hospital to really and truly see just how much people do not like change or confrontation. Eureka is a special place, a place that welcomes all walks of life, embracing them, and yet don't you dare go against the very grain that
Can you raise the microphone
We
down
can't
closer?
hear you.
so we can
Sorry.
hear?
Do you want me to start over?
Just go ahead and speak into the microphone.
And yet don't you dare go against the grain that we've worked so hard to preserve. We have a mayor, a commission chair, an HR director / acting CEO, and a CFO who won't answer to anyone, who treat this town in the hospital like it's their personal playground. Hell, 2 of them aren't even qualified, who dismiss us like we're kids running under their feet, and that's okay. That's acceptable, right? It is astonishing the lengths to which a person or a people will go in order to avoid a truthful mirror. James Baldwin. There are those of you who prove this to be true. Cynthia Asbury, who turns her back while employees come up to speak. Jody Edmondson, who refuses to look up. Sandy Martin, who speaks of rumors and disgruntled employees and how they're valid complaints and those that, well, aren't so much. Where's the transparency we're supposed to be seeing? Suzanne Gruning and being blocked from the Mercy meeting, anyone? Oh, and Velvet Schultz is now turning her back to people too. This isn't a McDonald's. You're not dealing with people who came in protesting after their orders got screwed up. Please tell me how you feel qualified to play judge and jury, not only where the hospital is concerned, but the employees as well. People aren't being transported to the hospital because they don't want to deal with Cynthia Asbury, and they're not the only ones, so let's not place all of the blame on the press. There's always someone out there with more authority and power than you. Remember that. Remember, too, it is not just about you. There's a ripple effect. a sort of guilt by association for some, and on the other, Heather Wilson, who stands up for truth and justice, speaks her mind and tries to do the right thing, only to be threatened and harassed, online no less. How is that acceptable? Meanwhile, the very people who've broken how many laws are still being protected by the very people or a person who were supposed to be looking out for us. In other words, humble yourself or life will do it for you. Let's not forget Dr. House, who came forward yet again to seek resolution, at no gain for himself, but for the betterment of our hospital and the city itself. Why hasn't that gone through? One would think they'd jump on that since they're supposed to be moving forward and making progress. This is not about spitefulness. It is not personal. It has everything to do with justice and accountability. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
I do have one comment I'd like to make, Mayor.
Ellis?
Sorry.
That was for public comments.
I'm just wondering why we're turning the mics off at exactly the 3-minute mark.
3 minutes, they're limited to 3 minutes. So, all right. That brings us up to our unfinished business. Is motion to discuss sewer update, and I'm going to combine the sewer and water leaks.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
I do have a letter from Simon on the sewer and water updates. I just want to read to y'all. Simon is out of town down in Little Rock attending a meetings down there, and he won't be able to be here. So, but he said they repaired the sewer main on 73 Mountain Street, and on 131 East Van Buren, they repaired a 4-inch service line behind Hart's Groceries. And then they're receiving quotes to replace an SBR2 influent control valve, which is electronically controlled. This is down on the sewer treatment plant. They've ordered the valve, and this is a valve and seal where the electronic gearbox and the valve meets that's seeping. So they need to draw down the level of the SBR1 to get to the top of the elevation, and then they'll begin drawing that down once they get the notification the valves arrive. And then they also replaced a sewer cleanout on Center Street. Water updates, they got repaired the water service line that was damaged by a contractor at Pine Oaks who was remodeling a house. There wasn't really any valid utility locate requests made, and the contractor was advised that operations shall cease until 8/11 was notified and the underground utilities are properly located. 21 East Van Buren repaired the collapsed service line, and 100 Highway 23 North, the wastewater treatment plant, they repaired a small leak in the sludge operation building. And 11 Pivot Rock, there was new service repaired. And then they replaced old meters with new ones on Judah Street, and 407 West Van Buren, 409 West Van Buren, and 43 Pivot Rock. And then they've also removed a tree behind Pendergrass Corner that was getting ready to, we had concerns about it falling, and we replaced that with an oak tree. Mr. Simon also wanted me to know too, and let the public know that they're doing the paving out on Highway 62, the highway department. So there'll be one-way traffic, so be patient and be aware of that going on. So other than that, that's his report for today.
Glad they're fixing that pavement.
Mr. McClung?
I just, was there any highlights of the workshop you had last week, or whenever it was last Tuesday, I believe it was. I was not able to make it.
Oh, the wastewater sewer treatment plant?
Yeah,
Did you get a copy of that?
I got a copy of that was the email that, that's got the drawings and all.
Right.
Was there anything verbally about anything that was?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they were just bringing this more up to date.
No, nothing about dates of.
I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, August?
I want to say he said August, yeah.
August. They hope to be able to have everything ready to go out for bids or come before the council to look at final approval, and then get that out like in September.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
On that.
All right. Thank you.
September, October this year.
Any other questions? All right. Next item of business is Ridgeway, the non-conformance appeal extension request.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right, in your packet, we have both, I think. I don't know if there's a letter from the owner. I think there is. Yes, there is. Draxie Rogers. She has done quite a bit of work on there, and she gave a timeline in through there, and she talked to the building inspector. And the building inspector went ahead and asked that, with the council approval, that they allow her another 90 days for the reasons that Ms. Rogers outlined in her letters. The 90 days that were approved were in the winter months, and unfortunately, she was also sick in the hospital down in Little Rock and wasn't able to come up. So, Mr. McClung?
Yeah, I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we approve the building inspector's recommendation. She's not tried to operate. You know, she's trying to get the work done. It's not hurting anything. It's going to be a better property when she gets through. So, and I have no problem with the extension.
I have a comment.
Well, we need a second.
Second.
Okay. All right. Comment?
So my concern is when she was here, she currently does not have her CUP to operate. And I asked her when she was here, is she planning on selling it? And she said yes. She has somebody interested if she can get the CUP. I think that sets a precedence to other people that may have not rented but now suddenly come up and want their CUP back because they want to sell it. Otherwise, she cannot, it won't transfer with the new owner.
That's not.
No? What, Ida?
What? Madam Clerk, you have what?
Madam Clerk.
So she doesn't need a CUP because it's legal non-conforming.
Okay.
So, and that does, if her legal non-conforming because it's not revoked, then that it does transfer ownership.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Has she been making contributions to the CAPC? Has she been filing her reports? Because if her reports have lapsed, then she loses her.
That was one of the reasons for was called before the city council. And to be honest with you, I can't answer that question. I doubt, knowing Draxie, that she's done that because she probably thinks she hadn't been opened, so there's no reason for her to file a report.
Well, it's required, and I don't think we want to. I understand she wants to sell it, and she can fix it up and sell it to somebody as a house, but to make it a B&B when she's not even operated it as a B&B for quite some time is not fair to the other people that have the same restrictions.
Question.
Ms.
So
Gurney?
when she was here last time, we asked her that, and she seemed very confused on what we were asking. And I remember, Mayor, you offering to have her come and see you or call you to try to clarify these things because she was supposed to come back to us to show that she was operating, and then she was ill, and it's just been snowballing.
If you drive by the place, it doesn't look occupied. There's junk laying on the porch, there's junk laying in the yard, and that's the way it was the last time she was here, and she said that she just had guests. Maybe her memory's not right. I'm not going to call her a liar. It's just that I don't think she's understanding how long time has lapsed since she operated a B&B.
Mr. McClung?
Apparently, the building inspector, and this is just an assumption, has looked at the property, is familiar with the work that has been done because he states it sounds like that there has been work in progress. It's just a slow go, and she's not, in the good enough health. And like I say, I'm not really, it's not open. She's not trying to do business. Yeah, she should be filing her reports. She should be current with her licensing and reporting, and she can get that caught up. I don't have a problem.
And we asked her to do that last time.
Yeah, well, and we don't, I can't say that it's not.
Well, we
Been
can't
taken
say
care
that
of.
it is.
Well,
So
okay.
I'm not
Well,
ready, I'm not willing to
All
vote.
right, let's, just one at a time, please, sir. All right. We understand you. Any other comments? All right, I think we did have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right. How does the council?
Yes, I'd like to say we can allow her to go ahead with her, to get her get it fixed so that she can get a certificate of occupancy, but that doesn't mean that we have to allow her to have her bed and breakfast back. That's all I got to say about that.
The motion's been made to allow her an extension of 90 days. So, and there was a second to it. Any further discussion on that motion? All right. Let's have a roll call vote.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
Harry Meyer,
No,
David Avanzino,
No.
Steve Holofield,
Yes.
Susan Grunning.
No.
All right, motion fails. So what, in other words, what the council is saying, that they do not want her to operate as a bed and breakfast for any longer after 17 years. Is that what I'm hearing the council saying?
Yeah, that sounds like to me.
Ms. Gurney, what,
I'm thinking, when did she
please
first,
speak in the microphone a little bit.
when did she first come to us? It's been quite a while, so,
It was back in November sometime.
Yeah.
and she wants another 3 months?
She's been sick. She's 80 years old. She was in Little Rock.
That's true. That is true.
I mean, there's, she can't get up here and get the work done and having the work done, so.
I mean, I guess my question is she even capable now of running the B&B? I'm not
Right.
one to judge a medical history.
Well,
But
that's
it sounds-
really not us to decide.
and it's a loaded question, Mr. Mayor, about after 17 years, sir.
That's what it says in the letter from the building inspector.
That's a loaded question.
I don't think, anyway. So I'm asking how the council wants to address this, if they want to address it.
We just turned it down.
Okay, so here's, I'm sorry. can I talk?
Ms. Gurney?
So here's my thought. We don't tell her if she can run her business or not. That's up to planning or CAPC.
We just did.
We just did.
Let me finish. But what Harry said was that we don't have to allow her to have her license. That's not up to us, right? She also has to meet the criteria of that she has been reporting to CAPC for taxes.
No, because she hadn't been operating. She's supposed to file a report saying that she hadn't received any money, any income on the property. I think that's the way the CAPC is
Yeah, they got to do a report every month, regardless.
supposed to do a report, whether you're operating or not.
Correct.
She may have failed. We don't know that for a fact.
Right. So either way, just to allow her to get the house finished, it's not going to be our decision.
She will lose her non-conforming status, and therefore she will not be able to operate as a bed and breakfast. So that's the status of it.
Do we need a motion to reject the appeal?
Probably do need a motion to reject the appeal.
Isn't that what we just,
Or you
Yeah.
made a motion to approve it. I'm
well,
not
to
sure,
approve it,
Mr.
and
Attorney.
it did not approve, so that's the same thing.
Is that the same thing?
Well,
Yeah,
it's the building inspector, sorry.
The status quo would remain, right? So the status quo is unchanged. And if the status quo is that she'll run out of time, then that's what we left unchanged. So I don't think you need a negative motion. You can certainly take one. But I think
Talk
you're
in the
right now.
microphone so we can hear you.
Yeah, so right now, the vote is to change the status quo, right? To add time to time that is expired or expiring. And without a positive vote on that, that means nothing changes. And so we just leave it as it is. You could do a vote, but basically her appeal for or request for more time has been denied. That's what it is, because we didn't change that.
And so consequently, what that means is that we're not giving her any more time, so she loses everything she's got as far as what she has, as far as her permit to occupy as a business. Now, it doesn't mean she can't go back and finish the house out and get a certificate of occupancy to live in it,
Or sell it.
but it takes all the business out of it. And somebody can reapply, but, you know, they can't. There's a moratorium on them. So that's the end of it, what it sounds like to me. That's my interpretation. I'm not a lawyer.
The other option is for the council to, instead of extending 90 days, give her a different extension.
Say that again, sir?
You can give her 30 days.
We have comments over here.
Mr. Almanzino?
Just a quick, when does her initial 90 days expire that we gave her?
This month.
This month?
I don't have it.
I think it's this month, but I don't know. We'd have to go back and look at the records.
Seems like it's already expired. It was like November. Set fell out of your ring?
So, yeah, we don't know when that 90-day begins, but I have another comment.
Ms. Gurney?
Also, when she was here, she had stated she had not been running it as a B&B. I don't
sorry,
know
I
when
didn't-
she's had business, which is why we asked for that report. I don't think she'd been running it until somebody came with interest to purchase it. And that's where I worry about setting a precedence. It's not that I wouldn't love for her to make the sale. It's just that things should have been in place to be ready to make the sale, knowing you were going to do that.
Ms. Holyfield, you got a question?
I think it's sad that a member of our community that's been in business for 17 years, if she sells this as a house, she won't get as much money as she sells it as a business. And we're pretty much condemning her to sell it for a lot less money because of her age and her illnesses. If our building inspector says he thinks we should give her a break and extend it, I can't believe it. We're just going to tell her, no, you're done, and you're out of it because you've been sick.
Haven't we already voted? Why are we even discussing this?
Because I'm asking basically what the council wanted me, how they wanted to handle it.
Well, we've handled
Ms.
it. We
Gurney?
voted on it.
I'd be willing to extend it, but I don't know for 90 days, maybe 45.
All right, make a motion for that.
I motion to allow Draxie Rogers, owner of Sunnyside Cottage, to extend the repairs that she needs for 45 days, but not for 90 days.
Second.
All right, now further discussion. All right, roll call.
Steve Holyfield,
Yes.
Terry McClung,
Yes.
David Avanzino,
Yes.
Susan Gurning,
Yes.
Harry Meyer.
Yes.
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and I'll notify,
You have a question?
Ms. Gurney, I'm sorry.
When does that 45 days start?
At the end of whatever we'll find out when the other one expired, and we'll add
Okay.
45 days onto that. All right, that brings us up to our next item of business is hospital concerns. Motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right, Ms. Grunny.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Hospital.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to start with Rochelle. Rochelle's input. Okay. So I'm disappointed on many levels in regards to the professionalism, the communication between us and the hospital, and finding things out in the paper. I'd like to express my deep concern and disappointment in the direction and performance of the Hospital Commission. I was disappointed to not be allowed to attend a meeting. It did get canceled, but to be told that I would not be allowed to be there to hear what I was being asked. I believe our citizens deserve better leadership, better transparency, and most importantly, a hospital we can all trust. The Commission is put there to act as an oversight for the hospital, to ensure the health and safety of the community and those employed by the hospital. With the exodus of so many employees due to the current admin, again, nothing's changed. So what is the structure of the Commission and their charter as it relates? And I wrote this after reading that they're still going down the path of a CEO. Over the past year, multiple citizens, current and former employees, family members have brought serious concerns to light about dysfunction and toxicity within the hospital's workplace. And not only that, but I also have a letter that I had pulled up from March 17th, a statement that went to the Eureka Springs Hospital Commission from Christy Hamilton, stating that she was asked to make charges that were fraud. And then when she decided to leave, or she wanted, no, I apologize. She wanted to provide a pulmonary rehab program. And when she was told no, even though she showed the ROI and did her homework, she was still told no. So, and she decided to resign because she felt like she was being blocked from something positive. And when she resigned, they asked her to leave right then. So why wouldn't she have been allowed to work her 2 weeks? After working through conversations with the Commission and reviewing public information that we've all received from hospital employees, I have to agree that with those who have stepped forward, that their concerns and my concerns align. Just a reminder of the top issues that we have heard since October, November? A hostile work environment, employee turnover is crazy, and it's crazy, period. We all know that to replace employee is very costly. There's training involved. You're paying people overtime to fill in. Poor accounting, non-fictional lab, and I was told recently that the lab is now being outsourced to Berryville because they're behind on analyzing any lab work, like by 4 months or something. I don't know if that's true. Failure to pass Medicare audit. We did pass it. They got through it, but we had issues with it. And for a small hospital, that's a little surprising. Reminding ourselves of these issues when this council asks questions, it's not to criticize. It is to ensure the Commission is upholding the highest standard of care and creating a safe, reliable hospital. We want to partner with the Commission. We want to see how we can help because it's our community coming to us, and it is a city-owned hospital. So, again, not to criticize, but to try to figure out what is not working here. There's been alarming examples that have raised major red flags for me. For instance, in the newspaper, where I seem to get my information these days, there was an article that discussed the heart attack and protocols, mentioning the ST evaluation as opposed to a non-ST evaluation of myocardial infarctions. I think that's how you say it. It was revealed that our hospital had been on divert status for blood products. So council member Mayer even shared his cardiologist warned him to not rely on Eureka Springs for cardiac care. I'm not a medical expert, but like many citizens, I find it unacceptable here to hear that sometimes blood work might be necessary and sometimes not after an EKG. If I'm having a heart attack and I don't know if I'm going to need blood work or not, and they can't do it, I'm not going to go there. What if you do need blood work? It can't be sometimes when it comes to life or death situations. I was disappointed by the defensive comments made by a commissioner who said they felt that they were treated like idiots, quoted from the paper, during council discussions per the article. I would encourage leadership to view this as an opportunity instead of, and not a personal attack, and to reassure the public with facts, not emotions. It sounds like we're battling, and that's not what we want. It's not us versus them. It's what we can do together. It was acknowledged a year-over-year revenue drop that failed to address nearly $500,000 in missing funds. I did finally get an answer back from Sandy that it wasn't missing, or the commission chair. But when I said that was pretty damning at our last commission meeting, she said, I know it is. So was it damning or not? How could you not answer where that money went? There seems to be an ongoing attempt to spin issues into a false sense of security. For example, while it was stated that the lab is fully operational otherwise, it can't be otherwise. It either is or it isn't. Financial concerns are just as troubling. While it was reported revenues down compared to last year, okay, I already mentioned that. We'll move on. There's also I'm looking at when we're only looking at a CEO position, we have missed opportunities. I think we owe it to our community to look at all avenues. Dr. House, CEOs, and put the RFPs out there to see if somebody can come in and run the hospital to the best of what the strategic plan and the hospital needs. And perhaps the biggest critical issue, the hiring of a new CEO and not pursuing this, the commission has never explained why they chose not to do that. I've not heard a really good reason why they only want to go towards a CEO. So we can only make the assumption that they feel a CEO is the only viable alternative, even though history has shown a CEO-run hospital in Eureka Springs with commission oversight has been a failure in the community's eyes. Taking this path with no strategic plan or long-term goals that I know of would be a mistake. The alternative may be to put out the RFP as an outside entity to manage the hospital, which spells out the needs of the hospital, and they know what to go for. Dr. House came in and I guess gave a very good presentation, but he's giving a presentation on what he thinks the hospital needs. The hospital has never identified to him what they're looking for. So I don't know how you align that when you're looking at candidates. Another significant concern is the commission's failure to report when hiring a CEO. Here's to me why an RFP matters. Transparency and accountability. Sarbanes-Oxley even looks at using an RFP for accountability and accounting purposes to show that, again, everything is transparent. It's a clear record keeping. Informed evaluation allows side-by-side comparisons, not can this person do, this person do, this person do, but yet we don't know what needs to be done. Strategic planning, knowing what that is. I couldn't find anything on strategic planning for the hospital. I don't know where the direction's going. Expedited process, it streamlines hiring while focusing on the best fit for leadership. Do we repeat our failures without better knowledge why we failed? There have been no changes to admin. Employees are jumping ship like the Titanic, and we're headed back to the same iceberg. What is going to change in hiring a new CEO? Putting all your apples into hiring one person to fix everything is not realistic. What is going to change? So, I think in conclusion here, I firmly believe the citizens of Eureka Springs deserve better from our city-owned hospital, both in terms of functionality and workplace environment. I urge this council to ask themselves, do we have the right commissioners in place to truly serve the people of Eureka? Where will we be in 1 year with no really change? I don't think a CEO is going to make a difference.
Mr. Meyer?
I am seriously disappointed that Dr. House's proposal was sort of offhand and shoved in the back room. I don't know. Maybe they're still thinking about it and they're going to have a CEO in between. I don't know. But I do know that at the last meeting, we were told that the hospital was fully staffed and raring to go, and that evening, the lab door was locked. There was no one in the lab. The nurses had to, if they had to draw blood and create it and prepare a sample, this is what happens when there's no one in the lab. And sometimes there's somebody in the lab and sometimes there's not. I guess there's somebody that has been working part-time in the lab. But the nurses have to get the key to the lab, go into the lab, follow the instructions because they're not trained to do lab work, and prepare a sample in a centrifuge or whatever, and then that has to be carried by a nurse to Berryville to be analyzed. It can take as long as 3 hours for that sample, for that analysis to come back. And that's why I say I don't want to go there if I have a possible heart attack. Because the troponin levels, the next doctor, the cardiologist wants to see those troponin levels before I even get to the cardiologist if they're flying me there. They want that stuff taken and analyzed right then. So, yes, it's just not functional. It's still not functioning. It's not a functioning hospital. That's all.
Mr. Holyfield?
Just point at me, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's my understanding, and I had that misunderstanding too, that CEO or Dr. House, it's not exclusive. They can hire a CEO and still do Dr. House's plan. And I see Sandy Martin here. Can we ask her to come up and answer that for sure? Because I thought the same thing. I thought, well, if they hired a CEO, that means Dr. House's plan has been rejected. But then I was told that's not true.
They're not necessarily exclusive. Our commitment is to get a CEO for management. There are...
Pull the microphone closer to you, please.
Oh, okay. That better?
Yeah. Much better.
Yes. Okay, thanks. They are not exclusive. They can be done in tandem. We feel that a CEO is necessary. There are a lot of things in Dr. House's proposal, as he even stated, that need to be discussed and vetted out a little further. There are some legal considerations that we have to do. But we are pursuing a CEO. We've got a good candidate, and we will continue discussions with Dr. House.
Good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Avanzino?
I guess I have two things for, I guess, procedural issues. I'm not quite sure how to handle these, but Alderperson Moyer's letter, does that need to be written in, or read into record?
We haven't yet, but it is here, yes.
Okay. And I guess my other question, Sandy, is for you. Despite everything else that's happening with the hospital, I always go back to, we have a plethora of current and former employees that have literally screamed hostile work environment, and we have done nothing for them except keep that hostile environment in place. And I don't understand that at all. If we were in the corporate field here, those people would be suspended pending an investigation or terminated. And I can't wrap my hand around why that's not happening.
Well, two things. One, I don't believe we have that hostile environment now, and employees are not leaving in floods. Secondly, we are going to do an independent investigation. We're looking for an independent firm that will come in and deal with those employees and interview all those employees and give us a report.
Now, is this a law firm or is it a human resources firm? Because what we need is a human resources firm.
It's going to be a human resources firm, and it's going to be somebody that is not associated with the hospital.
And where are we in getting them to come in and start doing that?
We are still looking for firms that can do it. So hopefully I'll have an update within the next week or so.
Ms. Gruning?
So with all due respect, you don't believe it's a hostile workplace, but we had quite a few employees say otherwise. And as far as turnover, the last report showed a very high, above average turnover rate. So there is an issue with turnover.
Historically, there has been, yes. We haven't lately.
The anger management issue that woman took a course on, that kind of shows that she had a problem. And I'm kind of thinking that she still has a problem.
Who are you referring to?
You don't know? You don't know who was on the cover of the newspaper? It said she'd gone through some issues, some anger management.
I haven't read the newspaper yet, sorry.
Well, it's a month ago.
I haven't read the newspaper either, Mr. Myers, so I'm not sure what you're referring to.
The same person who was accused of running people off in the past, who has cameras looking around, the CFO.
I'm not going to comment on employees.
The cameras that were looking around?
The CFO. That's who I'm talking about.
Harry is talking about I don't know if it's the CFO or the HR person that wears the
It's CFO, but I'm
glasses.
not going to comment anymore on employee issues. It's the CFO that has those glasses.
Why does she have those glasses? Why are they necessary in her job?
She uses those glasses. I don't know, David.
There's no-
She doesn't use the
please,
camera.
Council, remember, it's not us to talk about the employees. We don't have the authority over the employees and ask these questions. This is a hospital, according to state law. So I'm concerned about some of these things as you are, but it's outside of our authority. Ms. Gruning?
So I don't disagree with what you're saying, Mayor. I think we're just trying to make a point that some things sound a little sketchy. And if you're wearing glasses like that in a workplace, that sounds secretive to me.
Well, it sounds kind of kinky, but it was kind of kinky when I got taped without my knowledge talking about city business, and then was reported that I perjured myself by a city council member. So, there's certain things that, people are not trusting very much anymore. So when you get into HR, I'm sure there's areas where he said, she said, in these lawsuits anymore.
That's a financial officer.
Mr. McClung?
The hospital, we all know, is a critical component of our community. I mean, that's just a fact, and it's a major employer of the community. But there's a hospital commission that runs it. We can make all the recommendations you want to, and they're going to run it the way they see fit to run it, and unless you want to get rid of them, there's a lot of talk, but there's no action. So if you want to make motions and do something like that, get on with it and get it over with. The risk is that you're going to lose the hospital. Because once you do that, and the state looks at everything, and they look at that facility with a critical eye, they're going to say, well, it ain't worth keeping them going anyway. I'm not done. And so the hospital commission, unless you get rid of them, they're going to operate the way they see fit. And if they're going to run it in the ground, they're going to run it in the ground. If it survives, it survives. I'm sorry. But, our hands are tied that way. Unless you're going to, eliminate the commission and do something different, they're not going to change. I mean, you've seen that already. They're pretty set on the way they're going to operate.
Unfortunately.
And so, make your move if you're going to make one.
Mr. Almanzino?
Just a question for you, Sandy, again. Were we on divert this past weekend for any reason at all?
Blood divert.
So how many ER patients did we see with the bikers in town? I know I saw numerous ambulances. Were they all diverted to Berryville or some other hospital?
Not all of them, and I'm sorry I don't have those statistics, but I'll get them for you and email them to you.
I have one of the answers for that, because one of the nurses that was working this weekend, they had 8 people come in at one time.
Okay.
May I address something?
Certainly.
I want to distribute a financial snapshot of some key metrics that we pay attention to that may put your mind at ease.
Mr. McClung made the notion you can get rid of the commission. We're missing a commissioner right now, and I have reached out to several people. I've reached out to somebody who I thought would be a good person to be on the commission. He's made several comments, pro and con, about the hospital, and I thought he would be recognized. He wouldn't do it. A lot of it is because of for various reasons. I don't know exactly why he wouldn't. But the problem is, you get rid of the commission, I don't know who's going to run it. It's like Mr. McClung said, you're going to kill the hospital. I also want to go ahead and say, I don't know how many of y'all have ever said, do any of y'all have any experience sitting on a hospital board?
No, not a board.
I've been sitting on an FQHC board for over 10 years. Been sitting on both an that's federally qualified health community hospital. Been sitting on a behavioral health board for over 20 years, dealing with Medicare and Medicaid. Quite a bit larger than Eureka Hospital. Our board is similar to the commission, and it's being run by a CEO. I asked one of our board members the other day about a management company, and he thought that was going to be the worst thing. We've had 2 management companies here, and we've seen what's happened. Now, Mr. McClung remembers, and I don't know whether y'all were here or not, but basically they took a lot of money out of the hospital and didn't put anything into the hospital. So that's one of the problems with management companies.
We're not looking at a management company, Mr. Mayor. That's not what we're talking about.
Well, some of them were. Now, I'm just saying, and I'm not saying Dr. House would do that, but I'm just saying that's the problem with the management company that we've had experience with.
I don't like them either.
So anyway, just for your own information on there.
One of the things on these charts that we look at that's important, and it kind of goes to that point, Mayor, we've got a healthy bank balance, and we have reduced expenses. Yes, our revenue is lower. We anticipated that because of the REH conversion. But if you look at the operating margin historically, that kind of gives you an indication of the trouble we did have with previous management firms. And it gives you an idea of the hole that the commission has been digging the hospital out of. The other key metric that is really critical is how many days with cash on hand do you have in the hospital. We are healthy, and we have grown it. Last year we ended with 405 days. There are 9 hospitals in Arkansas that are on 9-day cash on hand. according to the Arkansas Hospital Association, they have to pay their vendors daily in cash. There are lots of others that are under 30 days or between 60 days. We are pretty healthy as far as that goes. Also, I think Alderman Gruening, I responded to your questions on the $500,000. We expected that. That was equipment. We continue to invest in the hospital. We will have deficit months as we go through it, but we do also, and I think I answered this, have a strategic plan that we're working on. We've got a consultant, the Rural Health Redesign Center. They're coming in within the next couple of weeks, I think, or month. We have the original plan is the REH conversion plan that the council was provided. So yes, we have strategic planning in process. We are getting ready to start workshopping our budget to take a look at that. It's going to be a work in progress because there are things that constantly move.
Ms. Green?
So I'm glad to hear about the strategic plan, and I do know it's moving over to rural. But I'm also very glad that you're bringing an outside company in case you do need to make changes and to find out why so many employees are leaving the hospital. And I know there's an average, and hospitals have a harder time with retaining employees. Labor is short, but it's the whole dynamics of how it came to us that we're concerned about. So to know what this outside agency brings with information, I would appreciate if that could be shared. I mean, I don't need names or anything, but.
Mr. Almanzino?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment, and Sandy, I appreciate the commission and you bringing, bank balances and revenue expense comparisons and all this to us. But I think that the commission is focused on the wrong thing right now, because your main issue right now is people. It's a human issue. It's not a financial issue. And the humans that make up that hospital are its employees and its community, and I don't think that's being addressed by the commission. I'm not saying that it's not. We're just not hearing about it other than what you just said about HR firm coming in. That's all we've heard. Because the way I see it, and I'm going to speak for myself, is that the commission is ignoring everything human about what has happened with that hospital.
I just totally disagree, David.
And that's fine. And I expect the commission to disagree, but I'm just letting you know what I see, what I've heard. I have not received one single letter in support of any administration at that hospital. Not one. Dozens and dozens, on the other hand.
I understand.
Okay.
Mr. McClung?
Yeah, I would appreciate it if we could read Councilman Moyer's letter and read it into the record that was emailed to us. Is that okay?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and read it. City Council members, I apologize I cannot be present to share my thoughts in person tonight. However, in light of the recent Hospital Commission meeting, there are a few thoughts I'd like to communicate and have on record. The decision of the Hospital Commission to select a CEO without giving full consideration to all available options is disappointing. I also believe it is contrary to what was agreed to during our joint workshop. The Commission's refusal to pursue all management option is full faith, is inconsistent with what is in best interest of our community. In addition, the absence of substantial financial discussion involving the full Commission during Commission meetings renders all Hospital Commission members complicit in the continued erosion of this establishment. Please refer to update rolling 12-month financial analysis been provided. Consider the following evidence. Under the current Commission, hospital revenues continue to decrease and there's little indication of a reversal. Based on an updated rolling 12-month analysis, net revenues are now $600,000 below budget and nearly $2 million below last year. I suspect this is attributed to the drastically diminished referrals from local physicians and a continued loss of local trust. Under the current Commission, hospital expenses continue to climb, Most notably, contract labor make up nearly 50% of total operating expenses. Eureka Springs Hospital is still losing money and has lost money every month since November 24. And yet this fact has not generated enough concern among commission members to warrant in-depth discussion at commission meetings. At the recent commission meeting, it was reported that there's an increase in visitation this month. I suspect that visitation reflects a general increase in tourism to our community. It should not be taken as a sign the situation's improving. A year-over-year comparison of visitation would be more appropriate for evaluating improvements. It's my opinion it's the duty of the City Council to monitor the performance of the Hospital Commission as we continue to consider all options available to us. Eureka Springs Hospital is an important asset, an economic driver, and essential component to the health and well-being of our community. We should be pursuing every option for sustainability and efficient operation. The decline of the last 6 months is cause for concern, but performance over the next 6 months is crucial. Therefore, I'm requesting the following data be provided to the City Council every month and at least 48 hours in advance of the first City Council meeting of the month. Updated financial data, turnover data including contract, labor, employees, number of physicians reported as local, non-local, all surveys incompletency, even if being addressed with a plan of action, number of days on divert and the reasons, number of patients who receive outpatient services. Additionally, I'd like to request monthly hospital visitation data beginning in 2022 to present. I feel it's important to clarify my intention in continuing to focus on this issue. I am not diminishing the hard work of those who provide care at the Eureka Springs Hospital. For their service, I'm so grateful. It's the ongoing decline in financial performance and workplace concerns leading to regular staff turnover under the Commission's selected path that's most concerning. These concerns deserve continued review. Respectfully, Rochelle Moyer.
Thank you.
All right. Further comments?
I have one question, Mayor, sorry. And Sandy, sorry, you sat down already, but what was the reason for changing the meetings to 2?
It was the scheduling. We were getting conflicts with getting all the commissioners there, so it was just a scheduling option.
Is there any plan to move it back to 6 so that the general public can attend?
At the moment, no, but we can look into it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any further comments? All right, moving on then. Next item of business is number 4, modification of the confetti ordinance. Harry Myers, motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
All right. Mr. Meyer?
Our confetti ordinance, as it sits right now, is dang near impossible to enforce because we'd have to have a police officer along the whole street to find out who blew confetti out. I think that
Wait, what did you say about the police officer now? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Do I need to turn my volume up, or do you need one of these, Mayor?
Okay.
Anyway, Chief, would you come up here, please? How difficult would it be for you to enforce the confetti ordinance as it sits?
As it sits, we just have to catch it just right. I mean, we'd have to be there present. And
you just have to be lucky enough to catch the person that did it.
it'd be hard to stop a parade to write a citation during the offense. Yeah, sure.
I propose that we add a $200 deposit to every parade permit to cover the cleanup of confetti that they would get back at the end of the parade if no one blew confetti out. And therefore, the person who gets the parade permit can inform everyone that's in the parade that, hey, there's no confetti. No confetti. Please don't use confetti. I think that'd be the best way, don't you?
No, that's up to you guys. You wrote it.
Question.
All right.
So, Mr. Meyer, you're asking for a parade organizer, and I'm just going to say for instance, Mardi Gras parade, that we charge the Mardi Gras captain or the organization $200 for a deposit, which will completely take our police department out of it.
Pretty much.
Okay.
There'd be a cleanup deposit.
Okay.
Mr. McClung?
I don't know if I'm ready to throw in yet. Pass. I changed my mind.
Ms. Gurney?
So what if it's not from anybody on the floats, but it's people lining the streets that bring those little containers that confetti can come out, and then you're going to keep their money for something they have no control over?
Well, most of the confetti comes from the big cannon that
I'm just
Mr.
saying,
Avanzino talked about.
what if it doesn't?
Well, that's another issue, isn't it? But
Is there a fee today for a parade?
nothing. Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's a
Who
fee.
issues the permit?
City Hall, we do. Mayor's office.
Can we just have something in writing that says it's already there?
I think we already have it, yeah.
I'm sorry, what? Okay.
And we have I think we have it on the permit too, that no confetti's allowed.
I recommended.
Did
that
we have a
put
problem with the last parade with confetti
Yeah,
from a parade float?
not this weekend.
Well, that's the one I'm
People
talking about,
walking
the
down the
last
street.
parade.
Not this weekend, no, that I know of. But every
Fred?
other parade since we've passed the ordinance.
Ms. Gurney?
So if there is a parade and nobody in the parade releases confetti, and yet you keep their $200, you're going to have some upset people.
Well, give them the money back if there's no confetti.
If it does not come from the parade, it comes from people standing in the balcony.
Well, I know we had some people at the Mardi Gras parade that threw confetti from the Flatiron Flats. There was some there, but the big one, the big mess comes from the cannon that is in a parade.
I get that, but that's not what I'm referring to. It's not what I'm asking.
Do you have a suggestion?
Mr. McClung?
I got a question. Who's cannon? What the hell's a confetti cannon? And who's got it? Who's supplying the artillery? Where is it coming from?
They are rentable through different agencies in the county and other counties.
Ban the cannons.
Well, I mean, honestly, guys, I think this is a moot point. People are going to throw confetti whether you like it or not. It's going to be a bystander, an observer. It may happen on a float with a kid. I mean, I don't see any way to monitor or...
I'd rather they
Harry, do you want to
paper-
stand out there for the parade? And
Well,
catch
then
them?
I make a motion that we repeal the confetti ordinance if it's unenforceable.
Second.
All right.
That's all.
Got any discussion on that? Mr. Holyfield?
I think we've done all we can do, and I think the ordinance does deter people from having the confetti. Unless Simon or someone came up to us and said, wow, this is really costing us a lot of money, and we need to come up with something better plan. I think what we have is fine, and I don't support changing anything at this point.
Well, it's unenforceable, so it's...
Mr. McClung?
I'd rather they throw paper than rocks.
It's the plastic confetti that everyone's concerned with.
Ms. Gurney?
I see a lot of bubbles.
Do what?
Bubbles.
Bubbles.
I like bubbles.
No.
I see
And
more bubbles than confetti,
I'd
seriously.
just like to say also that it was Public Works that asked for this ordinance because it's hard to clean up and their machine, the street sweeper doesn't pick it up and so forth. And if we can't enforce it, what good is it to have the ordinance? And a suggestion, well, you can put the suggestion on the permit, but no ordinance.
So we had a motion and a second.
Yep.
Did somebody second that?
I did.
Oh, okay. Ms. Gruening, I'm sorry.
I kind of agree with Steve. I think if you have it in place, you see less of it, and hopefully people respect the city enough to not do it. You may have some that do it, but at least for Simon's crew, maybe it's just a lot less cleanup.
Mr. Holyfield?
Has City Works complained about it since the ordinance went into effect? I understand Mr. Myers complained about it, but is the city complaining about it?
I don't remember Simon saying anything to me about it. He must have said something to...
Parks complained about it.
I thought you said Simon did, Public Works.
Public Works complained about it to us, and that's when we passed the
To
ordinance.
enforce it.
I'm asking you, have they complained since we've done that?
The only one that's complained that I know of is Parks.
All right, so we do have a motion and a second here. So all in favor of those, the motion is to abolish ordinance 2351. And there's a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
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 I'll vote no. Okay.
Only in a
I
tie.
do because it's, otherwise we keep the ordinance. We don't keep the ordinance.
It's only in a
Oh,
tie, I
okay.
thought.
I can vote in a positive manner, you're right. Okay. So the ordinance, I mean, we keep the ordinance. All right. Next item of business is quarterly financials.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I just have for you the first quarter financial comparative that just compares accounts payable, payroll, and cash receipts. It compares it to last year. Comparative bank balances and long-term liability, you get those both with your budget. I'm just required to present that to you. If you want the breakdown for any of the payroll, accounts payable, or cash receipts, I have that available in my office.
All right, any questions for clerk? All right, hearing none, we'll be going on. Get a motion to discuss temporary entertainment district.
I motion to discuss the,
Need a motion and,
make a motion to discuss the temporary entertainment district.
Second.
okay.
So the reason I'm bringing this up is I got to see firsthand one event that was almost beginning to end. I think for the most part, and Chief, did we have any big issues from the spring fling? I'm referring to the spring fling.
The only issue I would refer to was the rule about no glass bottles. And as a couple of people pointed out, they didn't see wristbands on some of the people that were participating. Speaking with the vendors, the rules were in place. The security in that small of an area was kind of hard to keep an eye on everybody. You know, as someone pointed out, the parking lots and things like that, people milling around and doing things, was kind of hard to keep an eye on who was doing what. Mm-hmm. So not big issues. Nothing came of it as far as broken glass or anything like that, but the containers had some problems with some containers. I had the guys do walkthroughs and gave them a copy of the ordinance to show people and just communicate with them. But as far as the vendors go, I think they were pretty well following the rules. But as someone else pointed out, some of the businesses didn't know they were even in the entertainment district until the night of. And so that could probably be mitigated a little bit.
So I was over at the Cat House, and a couple of times talking to Jeff. Everybody was very respectful, and for the most part, I think for the cat house, it went well. But I did not see half the people with wristbands. I did see bottled, and I asked Jeff, and then I went to Saddle Up. They knew nothing about it. Amigos knew nothing about it. They had signs put up in the yard, and then they had the entertainment district map posted to their door, and they weren't sure what it was. So the reason that I am bringing this up is then I went back to Jeff and I said, Saddle Up doesn't know about this. Well, do they need wristbands? And I said, yeah, maybe. Where did you get them? He said, from the city. And I said, I don't think the city hands out wristbands, do we? So when I said that, then he said, I don't know, I just had them from somewhere. And they did say entertainment district, but then that was Friday. Then on Saturday, I said, they would like some wristbands. He says, well, I'm out, because he gave them away. He didn't charge or anything, which is his prerogative. But then halfway through Saturday, there weren't any left, and I did not see any cups. When I looked back at Pine Mountain, I'm done, Chief. Thank you. When I looked at, I didn't want him standing up there. When I looked at Pine Mountain, it says Pine Mountain Entertainment District, and they have city-approved plastic cups. So those are two things, and when I look through the ordinance, I don't really see where it says what is a city-approved cup, number one. Number two, what type of wristband? Is a wristband, should it say Spring Fling 2025? Should it just say Spring Fling? Does it matter? Could it just be a plain green? I don't know. Because anybody then can come with a plain green band and walk around the entertainment district. And whenever the person is hosting the event, like the Cat House, I feel like whoever is hosting, Rotary, Cat House, Basin, that they need to let the other properties know that they are including in their entertainment district what is going on, and somebody needs to let them know what cups they need and what wristbands. Because honestly, those other businesses lost revenue because they had no idea. I mean, they gained some peripheral, but they had no wristbands. They didn't know what they were doing. So I don't think, going back to the ordinance, I don't think it's clear. I think Pine Mountain is clear, but they're unique because of what is in their vicinity. But when we're having it downtown, everybody needs to know. I don't know if it's shame on Saddle Up and Amigos for not paying attention to what's going on in town. I don't know. I'm looking for ideas, but I felt like...
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't have a copy of that ordinance in front of me, and none of the other commissioners or council does either.
I can't hear you.
We don't have the copy of that ordinance in front of me, so I'm not...
Oh.
I thought it spelled out what kind of cups and wristbands were on there.
I have it pulled up. And
Possibly what we need to do is defer this to next time so everybody can get a copy of this ordinance, and you can come up with some suggestions on how to improve it based on your observations. Because otherwise, I think we're all just
listening to
in
me
the
blah,
dark.
blah, blah.
Beg your pardon?
Just listening to me run on.
Well, it's just because I'm not sure.
I will. I will go back and look at it. And
Yeah, none of us have an idea. I mean, what you're saying is very valid. And I think, it's something we all knew. Entertainment district, any ordinance can be improved upon. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a confetti ordinance or a temporary entertainment district. So I think those are items we probably need to look at and see if we can tighten it up a little bit. And get with the police chief and see what we can do. So, Mr. Meyer?
Businesses that are within an entertainment district can opt out of participating in it. They don't have to give people drinks to go outside.
Well, they have to know about it first.
But they
that's
should
what
know.
I was going to say.
Of course, they should know about it, but they have the ability to opt out.
Totally agree, but that wasn't the situation here.
Yeah.
And that's very possible. Maybe we need to, revise the ordinance to include that and define the cups and wristbands and who's responsible for all that. So I think that's valid. Yeah. Any other comments?
Where would I find the application for entertainment district? Because
We have one in the mayor's office. We can send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have any, do you? Okay. Yeah, we can get you one.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other comments on that? And we'll just put that on the agenda for next time.
Okay.
So, all right. Part of the agenda setting. Anybody else have anything right off the top of your head? All right. City Council comments. Mr. McClung, I'll start with you. Whoops, wait a minute. Am I forgetting something?
It's online, Susan.
Okay.
The application.
I'll look for it.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. McClung.
I have
I
none.
know I didn't want to interrupt your thinking.
Nothing to say.
Are you done?
I have nothing to say. That means I'm done.
Mr. Myers.
Stick a fork in him. Well, I had a pleasant surprise. 4 friends of mine that I haven't seen in a multiple of years, I mean, since like 1969, showed up yesterday, and we had quite a gathering. Vietnam vet who was moved to Thailand 14 years ago. He flew in for this little thing. Of course, he had a Vietnam reunion over in Oklahoma, but it was a good time. That's all.
All right, Mr. Amazino.
Yes, I first of all want to thank Karen. She was actually on my list before it was brought up today for buying that flag, and for Simon for putting it up. I do appreciate that. I thought it was a great spring fling weekend. I really have no complaints on what I saw. I thought it was handled well. I saw police out and presence in the parking lots, so that was a good thing. That's all I have.
Mr. Holyfield.
First Steampunk Festival this weekend, past weekend. It seemed like a lot of people in town were having a good time. It's hard to measure, but it sure seemed like a lot of people. We'll see what the numbers look like later. The CAPC meeting next month is on the 28th at 6 p.m. The workshop is yet to be announced. And a personal note here, Eureka Springs Cemetery starting the tour of the cemetery starting next weekend at 11 a.m. for a 1-hour walking tour of the cemetery. It's a fundraiser for the cemetery. Every weekend through May, June, and July. It's 1-hour walking tour, $20. And I'm going to be volunteering to be one of the tour guides, standing up there in my costume, telling the history of the museum. It's not going to be competing with the Voices. This is more, with the cemetery. This is not competing with Voices. This is just giving an overview of the history of the cemetery and what some of the meaning behind the symbols and the tombstones and the types of tombstones. And if you like history, I think it's going to be a really interesting thing. So we're going to set it up so you can go onto the website and buy tickets, but right now it's not set up. So if you just want to come and have a charge card or cash, but I'm afraid the word's not getting out very well, so I'm afraid I'm not going to have anybody on my tour on Saturday. So anybody, please put the word out. Cemetery tour starts this Saturday at 11 a.m., 1-hour walking tour.
Saturday
Yes.
at 11 o'clock.
Every Saturday for May, June, and July right now.
Great.
Every Saturday at 11 o'clock.
All right. Ms. Graney?
So Basin Park still looks beautiful. They've done some more work, added the benches in, and kudos to Simon for working around town doing what he does. Steampunk was fun. I saw a lot of people through town. Spring Fling was really good. I mean, despite the other businesses not knowing, like I said, I worked the parking lot Saturday, and everybody was respectful as far as, hey, it's full right now, you can't come in, or, just for the most part, everybody was great. Thank you to the police department, the fire and ambulance for a very busy weekend. Motorcycles are always kind of, you get a little nervous. So our next meeting will be in May, but the meeting after that, I just wanted to point out, is Memorial Day, the second meeting of May. That's it.
All right. Well, we're getting ready to, start our month here. Eureka Springs in May is always packed with a lot of excitement and activities. So, got quite a few highlights for the next 2 weeks. Of course, the whole month of May is the May Festival of the Arts, which is an annual citywide event presenting numerous events throughout the month, including the Artrageous Parade, gallery walks, musical performance, and a lot more. So May 2nd and 3rd will be the Meet the Makers Art and Craft Show down on 67 Main Street. You're invited to go down there and meet the makers, and they always have a lot of nice art and crafts down there, and it's a great time to buy birthday presents and early Christmas presents. And they'll be on the 2nd and 3rd from 11 to 6. May the 2nd, the Great Passion Play starts, the grand premiere. So we'll start at 8 p.m. on the 2nd and continue on through October. May the 3rd at 2 o'clock, we will have the Artrageous Parade, which will begin at 2 o'clock for an explosion of music, costumes, performances, and a lot of other surprises, and hopefully no confetti. Expect over-the-top floats and dazzling performances and live music and a lot more in the Eureka Springs tradition. And then that evening from 3 to 6, we'll have the Basin Park Concert, King Cabbage Brass Band. And then also on the 3rd at 6 to 8, we'll have the Drumming in the Park. And then on the 4th, the following day, we'll have the Eureka Springs Plein Air Festival. That will be at 44 Kings Highway. And that will be going from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. On the 9th, the following weekend from 7 to 8:30 p.m., we'll have the Northwest Arkansas Ballet Presents Exposed here at the auditorium. And so that should be an exciting event. May the 9th through the 11th, we have Bridge of Love's Mother Day Living Art Installation on the Main Street Bridge. On the 10th, from 1 to 4, we've got the Eureka Springs Chocolate Lover Festival, Community Center. And also on the 10th, from 2 to 4, we'll have Patty Steele Band in the Basin Park Concert Series. So that's a lot of things going on over the next couple of weeks, and I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.